The Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros. Time to unbox this guy and take a look at it to see if it really does replace every earbud that I own. Plus they have pretty colors right after this. Forum. How you doing? How you be? Top to the AB, and this is the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros. We're gonna do an unboxing and take a look at it and compare it against a lot of its constituents that it claims to compete against, particularly when it comes to the Airpods Pros or the Hammerheads or the Jabra Elite 75Ts, which actually turned out to be its biggest competitor because the Jabra Elites are pretty much, for me, my go-to headphones when it comes to working out. A lot of it has to do with the form factor and the fact that it doesn't have capacitive buttons, so I don't like, me personally, I don't like touching anything currently, the way COVID is and all that kind of good stuff. I don't like touching my headphones. I don't like changing channels. I don't like doing anything like that. If I want to go to the next channel, I would rather touch my hat. Like if I'm wearing a hat, I would touch my hat instead of actually touching the headphones, because the capacitive buttons, I don't like to put my hands on my face when I'm touching weights because I'm not cleaning my hands after every single workout or after every single rep. So because of that, I would rather just touch my hat instead of touching the actual headphones themselves when I want to change channels. So because of that, I'd rather go with the Elite 75Ts. So these are brand new earbuds from Samsung Galaxy, and basically they are a competitor to the Jabra Elites for pretty much your gym time as well as your pretty much everyday use. These are IPX7 certified, which basically means that you can basically have them submerged in water up to 30 minutes for 1 meter of water. So basically, it essentially means that you can swim in them versus something like the Elites or the Airpods Pros that are all IPX4 certified, which is basically sweat proof. Is basically the best way to say it. They can handle a splash of water, whereas this one can actually be submerged. So we'll see how that actually works and see if that actually affects the call quality. But in the box here, it's very, very nice casing here. You let's see here what you get for the accessories. Alrighty, so with this here, you get a USB-C cable for charging. What is this? Oh, okay, so these are going to be your earbud tips here, but there's a very, very small box for my very, very big hands. They don't really go together, but we'll try to pry this open. Okay, cool. So those are going to be your ear tips there. And we're just gonna move this off to the side and move this off to the side. And this is going to be the case and the earbuds. So we're just gonna slide this over here. Oh, see, that's a nice, this is very small. It's a full square, like it's a smooth square. So it looks a lot better than something like an Elite, which is kind of like a long oval. Or if you compare them to the AirPods Pros, it's even smaller than them. It's a little thicker though. So if we look here, you can see that it's quite a bit thicker than a lot of these cases. These are the Hammerhead True Wireless Pros. You can see it's a bit thicker, but it's a smaller footprint in your pocket. So that's very, very good here. Just gonna take these guys out. Oh, see, okay, so these are nice. So if we look at them here, they are very, very small here. Bluetooth 5.0, IPX7 certified. They have about 4 to 5 hours of battery life. Very reminiscent of the Jabra Elite 75Ts, which have around 5 hours to 5.5 hours of battery life. And I've had these for maybe 6 months. And these have been my kind of go-to whenever I work out. So these right here are kind of the competitors to them. They have similar battery life. They do have adaptive noise canceling, and they touted to be adaptive noise canceling. We'll be testing that out at the gym. Because that's the way you can pretty much drown out a lot of the ambient noise. So we're going to be testing that out. We're also going to test it out on like a treadmill to see exactly how they go. But if we look at them here, and they actually look pretty good if we take them out and compare them to the Elites. So we'll go like that. That way you can see them. They pretty much look the exact same size as the Elites. Okay, so but the Elites actually have true buttons, whereas these look to be capacitive. I'm sorry, I was just trying to press them to see if they actually went in. So no, these look to be capacitive buttons where you actually have to touch them with the fingerprint, but these right here are just actual buttons. So if you look at them here, they look relatively the same. These are a little bit shinier, so if they will probably look a little bit better on your ears. So we're just gonna go ahead and put these on and see exactly how they look. When we compare them to something like an AirPods Pro, They are much, much smaller than the AirPods Pro, but they have a bigger footprint in your ear. If we look at the comparison here, the footprint in your ear is a little bit bigger, but they look a little bit shinier on the outside. So we're gonna go ahead and just pop these in here. Make sure we got them in right. All right, so that's right. And that's left. And I can't hear anything. First off, I can't really hear anything. So if we look here, I'm gonna turn to the left, turn to the right, go like this, go like this. That way you can get a good idea of how they look. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, it's gonna be capacitive buttons. So you can basically just your fingerprints, it just picks that up pretty quickly. We're gonna go ahead and take this one out and we're gonna put in the Jabras, if I can find which one is left. Okay, cool. All right, so this is gonna be pretty much its direct competitor. So these are the Elite 75Ts. And if we can look here, so Jabra usually has better call quality because Jabra, that's kind of their thing. They're very, very big in the business market, the Jabra, so they usually have better call quality. But we'll actually test that and see if it is. But if we look, the Jabra Elite 75Ts versus the Samsung wireless buds here. So if we look there, it looks very, very flush on this side. This side looks pretty good too. But if we take these out here, we're going to go ahead and put in the AirPods Pro so you can get a good look at them. Alrighty, so this is going to be the AirPods Pro. Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. Sorry, my headphones actually turned on. AirPods Pro, Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros, and then we're going to grab the Hammerheads, which are bigger than all of them, but they have a better fit than all of them too. So Hammerheads, Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. So yeah, I'm sorry, they're already showing connected. So yeah, these are the Hammerheads, and these are the Samsung Galaxy True Wireless Buds Pros. We're gonna go ahead and get a workout in and see exactly how they feel, how they fit. They feel pretty good. Their fit doesn't feel as strong as something like my 75Ts. Like this fit here usually feels a little bit better, but we'll see. We'll put some sweat on them and see exactly how they feel. They feel like they'll be in place, but I guess we'll find that out, as well as the audio quality and the sound quality. Alrighty, Forum. Just got finished actually getting in some cardio here and testing them out. First off, don't bother if you're trying to get these for iOS. They're okay for iOS, but they're not great. There's a few reasons for this. One, the app itself doesn't work it's not supported for iOS, so these sound kind of meh. They sound mediocre at best. There's better options. However, the fit is a little off. It's not exactly where it's supposed to be, especially when you compare it with the Jabra Elite 75Ts. Maybe I can explain it. Alrighty here, so let's explain here. So we have here the Jabra Elite 75Ts, and I'm using this to just point. And then we have the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros here. Now, if you look at them and actually compare them here, and I'll just hold them both in my hands, that way you can get a good idea. We have the Jabra Elite 75Ts on the left, and then we have the Samsung Galaxy Pros on the right. Do you see that little indentation here? Right there. So what that is, so if we look on the ear, so this right here, it's supposed to actually go in your inner ear and then rest on your concha cabum, which is basically this indentation right here. But the Samsung Galaxy Pros, they actually rest a little bit on the antihelix right here, the crust of the antihelix, which is basically the top part of the ear, the inner ear. So it rests right there. So because of that, it kind of gives you a different fit than the Jabra Elite 75Ts, whereas these kind of get sucked right into the concha cabum, right into the inner part of your ear. These actually rest on it. So because of that, it doesn't give you as good of a fit as the Jabra Elite 75Ts. However, this right here gives you a better surface area because this right here is resting on the crust of the antihelix. So because it's resting on it, I think that gives it a better IPX certification. So I think they may have traded a slightly less fit for the ability to be able to be submergible and be underwater up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. So I think that's where the problem is, but they don't bother my ears, but I can see them bothering ears that are much smaller, but that's just to give you an idea of why that is. So if you are comfortable with something like a Jabra Elite 75T, if you like that fit, then you may not like this particular fit just because of the way that it's shaped, because it's sitting on the crust of the antihelix versus actually just being sitting directly in the comma, the concha cavum. So that's just something to take note of, and that's just something to be aware of. Alrighty, so what we're doing here is we're gonna go ahead and test this on Genshin Impact, so to get an idea of how this sounds. So just gonna pop that, and then we're gonna go like that. So far, just me testing it here, I don't really notice anything bad here. So when I swing, that's exactly when I should actually hear it. I don't hear any latency whatsoever. Now, it is set to game mode on the Samsung app, just to make sure. So basically the game mode app is basically supposed to help it with latency in games. So just me trying it here, I don't really detect any latency that's just throwing me off or anything like that. If it is, it's very, very, very subtle, almost not noticeable. This actually feels just good, just fine. Right there, and right there. You can hear it. So yeah, this is fine.
Headshot.
Good. So laggy. It's so laggy.
This is an audio test. I am testing the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Peter Piper Pickle Peppers. Testing 1 2 3. This is an audio test. I'm testing the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Peter Piper Pickle Peppers. Testing 1 2 3. This is another audio test. I'm standing next to an air conditioner, so to give you an idea of how it would sound in a more vibrant environment like a cafe or a Starbucks. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Peter Piper Pickle Peppers. Testing 1 2 3.
Alrighty, final thoughts. There is a lot to say about this guy. It almost like it takes a step forward and then it takes a step back and then it takes like 3 steps forward and then it takes 1 step back. So if I break this down here, so as far as the software goes, it does not work. It's not supported currently on iOS, but all of its predecessors is supported on iOS, but the software is really, really good on Android. So there is that. So that's kind of like a plus and a minus. And then while we're on the app, it does have the ability to find my earbuds, which allows you to find your earbuds just from your app, which is really, really cool. On top of that, you can, whenever you change the 2-second delay to Spotify, you pressing the 2-second delay more than once actually changes between playlists, which is something that it doesn't mention anywhere on the documentation for this, which is a really, really cool feature that I don't even think Samsung knows. So all you have to do is change it to Spotify, and then when you hold for 2 seconds and let go, not only does it open up Spotify, when you do it again, it'll change between your playlists, which is really, really cool, which is something I've never seen on any other pair of earbuds, the ability to change playlists. So that's really, really cool. But on a more somber note, the touch control is extremely sensitive. All it takes is like let's say if you're stretching, like if you're at the gym, and yes, I'm trying to flex at the same time. If you're at the gym and your bicep brushes up against your ear, that's all it takes, okay? If you go like this, that's all it takes. Like literally, it takes nothing for the capacitive button to register an input. It's very, very, very sensitive. Hopefully in software they can fix that, allow you to choose between, you know, this level of sensitivity of that particular button. But as of right now, the way it's currently standing, it is super sensitive. It doesn't like anything on it that isn't trying to actually change it. Because if you put anything near it, so like I would put my hat near it, and just me putting a hat near it would make it change. Even though I can't actually press the button through the hat, just the thought of my finger brushing up against my ear is enough to make it change. So please be warned, the button is very, very, very sensitive. The sound quality, which I haven't really talked about yet, the sound quality is pretty good. It's mediocre on iOS because you don't have the software, but when you add the software and you change it to either a bass boost or dynamic, then the sound quality is actually pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. It's pretty passable, especially for in-ear earbuds that are relatively small. It's actually pretty good. So I don't really have any problems with that. You're not going to have any problems with sound quality if you're trying to compare it to something like an Elite 75Ts. Maybe if you're trying to compare it to like a Hammerheads, but those are much bigger earbuds that go in your ear. Now, what's interesting is that it can pair between all of your Samsung devices. As soon as I hooked it up to my cell phone and I installed the update, I was then able to use it on my watch, and my watch immediately saw it with no problems whatsoever, which is really, really cool. And back to the touch sensitivity, you can turn off the touch sensitivity when you're working out and then just use like your Samsung S3 watch instead, which is also really, really good. So you can use your watch instead if you're tired of the button touching itself or changing all the time. You can then use your watch, but it kind of defeats the purpose of the buttons on the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros. It kind of defeats the purpose when you're working out, but it does have a workaround. But because of that nice positive, then they also have the negative. Adaptive noise canceling is terrible. I haven't had a whole lot of terrible adaptive noise canceling, but the Jabra Elite 75Ts are at least 25% better. So me testing with an air conditioner going on in the background that I can hear, similar to the audio test, the Jabra Elite 75Ts was able to drown that out better than the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros, which are actually right here. I was trying to figure out where they were, which are right here. So it can drown them out a lot better than these guys. These guys don't really drown out a whole lot at all. It does. It kind of works. It's not strong. If you compare it to just about any earbuds with adaptive noise canceling, they all beat it. The adaptive noise canceling is very, very weak on this product. So if adaptive noise canceling is your thing, then this guy is not for you. Now, because of that negative, we also have to give it a positive. The call quality is pretty good. I made sure that I was very far away from the receiving end as to not have any interference, and the receiving end heard me just fine. What's interesting is that the barrier to entry for them to be able to hear you is very, very low. In other words, the volume that you would set it to so that your receiving end can hear you is around like 1 or 2. Like it's super, super low. Anything higher and you're actually peaking. So it is very interesting. It doesn't require much for the other end to be able to hear you, which means that if you needed to turn it up to make sure that they can hear you, you could. So as far as the audio quality goes, the call quality goes, it's actually pretty good. It gets a plus in my book. It does exactly what you need it to do. It's not going to break records or break worlds or anything, but it's pretty usable. But then, because of the positive, you got to take away a negative. You can't customize the EQ. So when you're in the EQ, you only have like maybe 5 different options. You don't really have the ability to just change the bass or the treble or anything like that. You just have to choose between the 5 dynamic presets that are already there. Hopefully in future updates, they will make it so that you can change the EQ to give you a little bit more bass, because I like to have a heart attack when I'm at the gym. Or I like my heart pounding through my chest a little bit. It kind of gives me pump, but because you can't really do that and the bass boost is kind of weak, the dynamic is actually better than the bass boost, which is kind of weird. But the options that you have to choose from is very, very limited. If they can make in the future the ability to change the EQ to way you see fit so that it fits your ears in the way that you like to hear music, that would be really, really good. Then, because of that negative, we go back to a positive. Game mode is actually really good. I didn't hear any latency in Genshin Impact. I didn't hear any kind of latency between the muzzle flash and me pressing the button on Call of Duty Mobile. So if you're wanting to use it for gaming, it's also good for that. So hey, it also has a positive there. So it gives and it takes away. I guess that's the best way to say it. Is it better than the Elite 75Ts? The Elite 75Ts are $50 cheaper. So because of that, I would say no. okay? If the Elite 75Ts are an A, this would be an A-, okay? I was originally, before I even got to the call quality, I was gonna give it a B+, but that call quality made it so much better. That call quality is enough to bump it up to an A-. So because of the good call quality and the fact that you can use it with all of your Samsung products, it is able to switch between all of your Samsung products interchangeably, kind of like the iOS version, then you have to give it somewhere between a B+ and an A-. I can argue like a B+ or B, maybe a B-, but usually a B+, A- is kind of where it falls for me. It's not quite the level of the Elite 75Ts. If it was $50 cheaper, it would probably be an A. It would probably be right next to the Elite 75Ts because though it does take a lot away, it does give a whole lot back. Plus, it does show to have a mute button, which is really cool and very rarely seen. Looking at you, Jabra. How you not gonna have a mute button and you make business products? A mute button would be great because that means that you can use the same pair of headphones at work, at home, at the gym, while you're swimming, everywhere. Just one pair of headphones. The day I get that, I will be so excited. But overall, they're still great headphones. I would recommend them for Android. I would not for iOS as it currently stands. You have just way better options and the software isn't supported on iOS anyway, so you can't even choose your EQs. So, but on Android with the Find Your Phone and all the good stuff that comes with that, Bluetooth 5.0, the IPX7 certification, yada, 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 so much so forth that we've already discussed, it's really good for the Android. If you have like the Samsung Galaxy S3 or the Galaxy Tab or any type of Android tablets, or if you have obviously the Samsung Galaxy Notes and you know those type of phones, S20s, S21s, whatever. If you have those guys, then it's great for those guys because it pairs very, very well, very, very quickly. It detects it immediately. It detects it just the way the Apple system detects the AirPods Pros. So they are very, very good for that. So if you are a Samsung fanboy, or if you have like a Samsung environment, then they are perfect for you. And that is when I would actually recommend them over the Jabra Elite 75Ts because the ability to swap between different tablets and the ability to swap between like a tablet or your phone or your watch very, very quickly is very, very useful. So between those two, $50 is worth that price. But if $50 is pretty pricey for you, then I would go ahead and recommend the Jabra Elite 75Ts. You get like 90% of the software features. I would say maybe 85% of the software features, but then you get like 95% on the back end. Plus you get better adaptive noise canceling. Okay, I think I got everything. I don't think I missed anything. And that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you really like it, I'm going to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best and bye.